Hello and welcome to News Centre. I'm Parikshit Luthra. The flash floods in Sikkim have left at least 40 dead and more than 100 missing. 2,000 people have been evacuated so far, according to the state government, which also said that over 22,000 people have been affected. The state's Disaster Management Authority has attributed the flash floods to rising water levels in the Teesta River caused by a cloudburst over a glacial lake. Hydropower plants on the river have also suffered severe damage, with highways washed away as well. The river's flooding has also impacted villages in West Bengal. Rescue operations are underway in the region. However, the Indian Met Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall in the next 24 hours in the state. Joining us now is Anjal Prakash, Associate Professor at Indian School of Business. Anjal Prakash, I'd like to ask you about what possibly led to this massive tragedy there in Sikkim.
Thank you so much, Parikshit, for having me on the show. There are three major reasons, as we see, because the nuances will come only when we have detailed understanding and analysis of the situation. At this, the prima facie, and as per the report that I'm watching and seeing, three things that is coming. One is definitely there is an excessive rainfall, which has led to what we call the glacier lake outburst flood. GLOF is something which is very extremely related with the climate change process. As we are warming up, more and more glaciers are actually retreating, and that is leading to forming of the GLOF, what we call it. So if you have excessive rainfall happening in one particular region, there could be a chances that then these GLOFs actually will leak out from the water, will leak out from those areas. Now, Sikkim has been known for a number of GLOFs that they have, and out of numerous GLOF that satellite imageries are telling us, about 25 of them are actually very critical. That means it has the potential for flooding downstream if there's any leakage that happens in these lakes. Now, we also have to understand, and this is something for the further investigation, but there has been an incidence of earthquake which has happened in Nepal, and my guess also is that this could have punctured some of the GLOF that we are talking about, and that has led to devastating floods downstream, as we see. But the detailed report must be sought, and I think detailed analysis must be needed. These are all prima facie evidence based, and the experience that I have in the region is what I'm talking
about.
Mr.
Prakash, Right. Professor Prakash, we're also looking at, as we see these pictures, a lot of damage to bridges, to homes, to infrastructure in the area. We've heard of damage to the NHPC, Teesta 5 and Teesta 6 as well. Teesta 5 has been stopped. Teesta 6 is only under construction at the moment. But do you think when it comes to infrastructure build-up in this region, did the disaster aspect of it, did climatic concerns, environmental concerns, were they taken into account while building this infrastructure in the region?
See, this is one of the long battles that we have with the infrastructure development in the Himalayan region. And I must say this, and I've been telling this on and off for a very long time, that these are very fragile ecosystem. Himalayan mountains are one of the youngest mountains in the world. And any infrastructure development that we take must take into account the climate change process that we have. Unfortunately, Teesta, we know it's a cascade of dam, and which has been planned a couple of years before, when the climate change was not as devastating as we have seen today. Unfortunately, the 5 has not taken these there must be some calculation there, but in terms of the recent climate change development that has happened, Teesta 5 project may not have taken this into account. That's number one. Teesta 6, which is under construction, should take this into account. In fact, that is something that we have been telling for a long time. I must also tell you that the IPCC report, which I was fortunately part of, has been categorizing Himalayan region as one of the high-risk hotspot region, and that means any development process that takes place must take into account these recent changes in the climate conditions.
Right. I'd also like to ask you about the damage so far that we see in this region. What's likely to be the extent of this damage? We already believe that there are civilians missing, at least 20 soldiers who are missing. When the final report comes out, how much damage do you think could have been caused to this region? And if we speak kilometer-wise, what would be the scale of the damage?
Yeah, Parikshit, it's very difficult for me to gauge at this moment. I'm a little far off from the place where it has occurred, but I have done extensive field work in the Tista region, especially in the region that where this problem has occurred. Singtam region, where say Tista 5 and the other Tista projects have been located, is actually at a confluence where the devastation could be much more than we are actually being reported. I also see that the upper reaches of Himalaya, especially in the upper Tista region, where which was thinly populated, it is not very highly populated, but the lower reaches actually has many locations, especially habitation, which is there. That's number one. Second is about the devastation that may be causing to the environment, the immediate environment. These are also one of the biodiversity hotspot regions. You must know that this is something which has been very rare biodiversity regions that we have, which is also home to many other species other
Right.
than humans. And that also may have been caused devastation in this area. Third is also about the livelihood, and the property that we have seen. My assessment is that this must be much more than what we know at this moment. This is a very short period for us to gauge anyway, but devastations could be on all fronts, not only on the number of people who have died, but also on the infrastructure, also on the biodiversity, at the same time, also on the lives and livelihood of the people.
All right, Professor Prakash, we've run out of time, but thank you very much for joining us on the program with your take on what's gone wrong and the kind of damage that could have been caused to the Sikkim region. 520